So basically this, the Fall Winter 26 is the part 2 of a trilogy that we call the trilogy of glorified cliches. And so we are putting focus on power as like the central concept for this show. So basically, you know, as everyone knows, power dressing is one of the main codes of the House of Mugler, and so we wanted to tap deeper into power dressing. Each look is pretty much like a sort of an exercise that attempts to really deconstruct the whole idea of power dressing, you know, like seen through different angles, from tailoring to flu, you know, like the whole aesthetic of the 80s that was really marked by Thierry Mugler, which was also very inspired by the 40s silhouette, you know, like that was very much like his obsession, you know, like the whole idea of the new look from Christian Dior. And so the collection tries to really tap, you know, and deconstruct all these elements. So the first look is already a very good representation. It sort of like embodies, encapsulates the general mood of the collection. And it's inspired by the court coat worn in the 17th century. So the collection is very informed by the uniform, you know, and so we were like looking back in history and looking at the way uniform was represented through the centuries, and we wanted to sort of hybridize and translate different typologies of uniform. So the first look is a very good example, and we're going to try it out for you to see. So like the fourth look as well, you know, it's very representative of the archive of Mugler. The idea of like the big shoulder, the snatched waist, the hourglass silhouette, and then like something like this as well, like the combination of something very flu, departing from a boxier shape, again structured, big shoulder, trapeze line that sort of like morphs into a more feminine kind of drape. A sort of a siren-y kind of skirt that is like done in a very robust kind of leather. So you have this contrast of femininity, but sort of like empowered by structure. This time, you know, we chose as a venue, we chose the Museum of Immigration, which is a very emblematic piece of Art Deco in Paris. And the collection is also very informed by Art Deco and the Bauhaus and Russian constructivism, which were like movements of the 20th century that were very close to the ideals of like utilitarianism, which is something that really informs this collection as well. The political context in which we are right now, which is somehow very problematic and very worrying for all of us, you know, like the collection having a theme like that, you know, like having a focus on power, you know, it is somehow directly, indirectly reflective of that, you know, like the importance of, you know, thinking and reconsidering what power is, you know, like, so this collection is an opportunity to also sort of like ask questions more than give answers, you know, like to try to understand what is it, you know, what is it that matters the most in this time and age. Is a lot to do with agency, is a lot to do with the principles of self-empowerment. Voilà. So it's a nod to woman, is a nod to freedom.
And not to power.
Well, and power in the sense that like freedom is the greatest form of power that one can reclaim. It's nothing to do with authorities. You understand? It's to do with the opposite of that. And you know, there's great power in being self-possessed and in celebrating the self. So that's what this is all about. This second show, like the thematic is very, very, very important because it's one of like the quintessential codes of the house. You know, after part one, putting focus on glamour. This time we are addressing something that is like extremely defining of the house of Mugler, which is power dressing. This fall winter 26 is going to allow us to sort of like do a deep investigation into what does that represent in the now, you know, in this time and age, which I think is something very important to address, you know, and to ask this type of questions, like what is power today? We know for a fact that like power can be perceived from two sort of like opposite angles. It can be perceived as a negative thing or as a very positive thing, and of course we want to make sure that power is a positive thing, you know, through the lens of self-empowerment, you know. And when we talk of like power dressing, I think it's precisely about that, you know, like that's what Thierry Mugler believed, and that's what I believe myself, that like clothes can serve that purpose of allowing one to impose a presence. It can work as protection, it can work as a shield from the world. It can be all of those things at once, and I think this is the kind of reflection that we are having with this collection. Yeah, but most importantly, the collection is about agency, you know, and like the importance to find yourself in a position where you can celebrate who you are. It's about individuality, it's about identity, and I think the collection is going to cover like a very wide spectrum of interpretation of what that can represent, you know, like revisiting, you know, certain elements that are part of like the visual code of what we associate with power, and we are like toying with it and deconstructing some of those elements in order to understand why those elements still resonate with people. Why do we react to them the way we react to them? Why are we seduced by all of these things still in this time and age? So voilà.